go. Hi, I'm Ariana French. I work at the American Museum of Natural History in New York, and I'm here to talk a little bit about Project Describe. Project Describe is really about, it's just one piece of a much broader effort at our museum to bring our website into compliance with WCAG 2.0 level AA standards. This was a goal that was set out for us around the spring of 2016. And we quickly broke it out into two main categories of work. The first category being the content remediation of our website. In other words, optimizing all of the text, all of the images, all of the videos, all of the audio and podcasts, and all of those assets on our site to be compliant with those standards. The second category of work is what we call the technical remediation. So these are what I call sort of the behind-the-scenes code updates, largely HTML and CSS changes, to the underpinnings of all of our pages to really make them friendlier to keyboards and screen readers. The technical remediation piece we wrapped up largely in the summer of 2016, but the content remediation by far represents the largest amount of the effort. This is the piece of the project that still continues today and will still continue for some time. And so, Sina was mentioning all of the craptions and things like that. We wanted to avoid using too much automated software to bring transcriptions and captions and things like that to our videos, and we also wanted to create a better experience for our images as well. We have over 15,000 to 20,000 images on amnh.org that lack a basic text description. So across a huge portion of our site, there's a ton of content that simply is not accessible to people with vision or using screen readers to access our site. If you're not familiar with what an alternative text description or an alt tag is, this is just one quick example. So in orange, I've highlighted in the HTML alt attribute two brown bears standing next to a stream in the Alaska brown bear diorama. This is simply an alternative text description for the image that you see here. So this is where Project Describe comes in. Project Describe is a website, and it's an adapted open source platform that's actually already in use by the New York Public Library, and I believe is developed in collaboration with Zooniverse. We were familiar with their work largely through the transcription projects that they have, which are amazing. If you haven't checked out the New York Public Library sites, I encourage you to do so. They largely use it for the Scribe platform for transcribing things like menus or maps or things of that nature. And we saw two parts of the platform that we thought, that might be a good way for us to crowdsource the creation of alternative text descriptions for all of our thousands upon thousands of images. And I don't know if you can see it here, but up at the top there's sort of three main links: sort, describe, and review. The describe and review pieces we felt would probably give us a good head start on creating those descriptions for our images, and also provide a way for the public to vote on the descriptions that were most appropriate for our images on the site. So what you see here is an example image from our website in the Project Describe platform. Here you're given the option to enter into a free text field a brief description of the image. You can also see examples of good alternative text descriptions if you want. You can also click on About this image to see this image in its original context on our website. Or you can view a tutorial to sort of get a broader understanding of what it means to create good alternative text descriptions for images. And here's an example of another image pulled from our website in the review section of the Project Describe site. And here instead we're seeing three crowdsourced descriptions. So here we've already gathered all of these descriptions from the public, and we're asking you in this section of the site to simply pick the one that you find the most appropriate. Again, you can see an example of what a good alternative text description looks like, in case you need some reminding, or you can see this image in its original context on our website as well. So once we gather enough votes for the images in the review stage, they become available to our internal editors, where they use this internal site, which is what you see here. On the left, you get a thumbnail of the image. In the middle, you get all of the descriptions that were submitted or considered to be the most popular from the Project Describe site. And then finally, the editor has the option to either accept the most popular description as voted by the public, or they can make edits in line and then submit it. So once our content editors actually click submit, in this view, it's retired, the description and the image is retired entirely from the platform and then becomes eligible for import back into our CMS. So we launched in December of 2016, and what you see here is the dashboard of some recent statistics. This is not entirely current, from Project Describe overall. So we've had about 9,000 sessions so far, over 1,000 registered users, and unfortunately only 249 descriptions imported back into the site so far. But we are making progress, slowly but surely, and so far the platform has really been a terrific way for us to bring our website compliant with WCAG level AA standards. Thank you so much. I'm happy to answer any questions at all about Scribe or the Project Describe.